Max Vatan drops into the desert. He strolls some distance before he is met by a driver who supplies him with gear, a wedding band, a weapon, and misleading records. The driver advises Max that the lady he is to meet will be wearing a purple dress, and to search for the hummingbird. Max shows up at a club in Casablanca. He tracks down the lady, Marianne Beauséjour. She immediately knows what his identity is and energetically welcomes him with a kiss. They act like a couple to Marianne's companions before they leave. As they drive away, Marianne praises Max on showing up, yet she scrutinizes his Parisian French articulation. Max and Marianne's main goal is to kill the Nazi diplomat. They work on their ploy, acting like a wedded couple by living respectively and attempting to make their act persuading. The two meet with the envoy, Hobart. Marianne does the majority of the talking as she attempts to persuade Hobart that Maximum is her French partner. Hobart demands Max go to a party, however Max imagines he would prefer to play poker. Hobart provokes him to part a deck of cards. Assuming he gets the low card, he should come to the party. Max skillfully rearranges the deck and picks the low card, the result he wanted. They keep planning for their activity, including objective practice, and profess to be a couple. Max opposes Marianne's earnest advances for some time until they have intercourse in Max's vehicle in a dust storm. The two go to the party with numerous Nazi authorities present. At the point when Hobart slips the steps and addresses the collected visitors, there is an enormous blast outside. Max and Marianne hold onto weapons from under a table and shoot the Germans. Max wounds Hobart and afterward polishes him off with a specialist shot to the head. Marianne kills one German when he attempts to shoot her, and she almost kills his significant other until Max pulls her away. They keep shooting until they drive away. With the mission finished, Max and Marianne plan to head out in different directions, yet he welcomes her to go along with him in London where they can get hitched. She consents to go along with him and they marry. An air assault happens over London. Marianne is in the process of giving birth and is emptied from the clinic as bombs begin dropping. Max remains close by, and Marianne conceives an offspring in the medical clinic patio to a child young lady that they name Anna. Following a year, Max and Marianne have become used to their life as a family. They have genuinely experienced passionate feelings for. Max is brought in to meet with a boss, Frank Heslop, as well as a SOE official. They illuminate Max that Marianne is associated with being a German covert operative. The genuine Marianne Beauséjour had been killed, and that a German covert operative, Max's significant other, took the dead lady's character. Max discovers that Hobart was a dissenter and Hitler had needed him dead. The official orders Max to lead a trial of Marianne's devotion, a blue-collar activity, or the two of them will be shot. Max is angered that they question his better half's unwaveringness, however consents to participate, until he chooses to examine reality all alone. Max intends to hold a party for Frank and different officials to assist them with seeing that Marianne is who she says she is. Max goes to his sister Bridget's home to welcome her and her sweetheart Louise. Max visits a previous partner of Marianne's named Fellow Sangster. Max finds Fellow in an emergency clinic recovering from wounds, restricted to a wheelchair, and his face horrendously distorted from his injuries. Max attempts to show Fellow a photograph of Marianne on their big day so he can recognize her, yet Fellow's right eye was shot off, and the retina in his left eye is unstuck, so he can see a white figure. He shouts at Max for what has befallen him, yet in addition tells him of one more man in France, Paul Delamere, who knew Marianne. Frank orders one of his pilots flying an undercover mission to supply obstruction warriors in France to track down Paul, a furnished man, and affirm Marianne's character. While hanging tight for the response, he is deferred and killed by Germans. The party happens at Max and Marianne's home. Various visitors are in participation, with a few of them getting close in different corners around the house. During the party, an air attack happens. A German plane is destroyed and has all the earmarks of being going accident into their loft. Max runs higher up to get Anna, however Marianne as of now has her. He safeguards them as the plane barely misses and crashes in a field behind their home. Max flies into France and searches for Paul Delamere. Obstruction individuals let him know Paul is in prison. They slip into town and go to the gendarme's office so Max can converse with Paul, the previous partner of Marianne's. The officers take the gendarme's keys at gunpoint and enters Paul's cell. He is extremely tanked and he vomits when Max awakens him. Paul attempts to go for his jar, yet Max removes it until Paul responds to his inquiries. He shows Paul the image of Marianne and inquires as to whether he knows what her identity is. Paul's responses appear to affirm her personality until he makes reference to that when he saw her. She played the French Marseillaise on the piano like a goddess directly before the Germans. Max is staggered. The gendarme cautions German soldiers looking for bootleg market cigarettes to the presence of the obstruction troopers. Max and his companions shoot the Germans, and Max throws a projectile into their staff transporter prior to regulating a death blow to the injured Germans. Max gets back to Britain and requests that Marianne go with him. He takes her to a bar where he advises her to play the piano and the French tune Marseille that Paul had referenced. In the wake of faltering, Marianne shuts the piano, as she probably is aware of the story. She begins crying as she didn't naturally suspect the Germans would track down her in Britain. Yet, they caused and took steps to damage Anna in the event that Marianne didn't spy for them. She concedes she sent the message the previous evening and she has been compelled to spy for the Germans. Max is enraged, however he inquires as to whether she truly cherished him. Marianne says that she adores him and the existence they have together. Max intends to remove Marianne and Anna. He kills the caretaker and a gem specialist who were her controllers. They go to a runway where Max attempts to kick a plane off, however Frank and different troopers show up. Frank defies Max and is getting ready to take him in for conspiracy. Marianne delicately puts Anna down in the secondary lounge and takes a weapon from the glove compartment. She escapes the vehicle and tells Max she adores him and to deal with Anna. She turns her back and shoots herself in the head. Max takes his coat off and covers Marianne's body. Frank orders different officers to report that Maximum killed Marianne by his own hand. In the last scene, Marianne composes a letter for Anna to understand when she is more seasoned. She composes how she cherished her, Maximum, and the year they had together in London. The last thing we see as Marianne's voiceover completes is a more established Max and high schooler matured Anna strolling through the field of their farm.